What's going on?
Sorry, the dogs.
No. Don't close the door. What's going on? What's going on?
With what?
You Shay?
I am Shay.
Right. I had some kind of strange, interesting call about somebody having had their throat slit.
Okay.
So what's going on here?
No, that's my dogs, yeah.
Hello. You're under arrest on suspicion of murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. The necessity for your arrest is for a prompt and effective investigation. Okay.
The first thing police noticed wasn't the body, it was the smell. Bleach hung heavy in the air as officers stepped inside the house in Hampshire in the early hours of July 17th, 2022. The woman who answered the door was calm, almost detached. She identified herself as 27-year-old Cher Groves. When asked what was happening, she replied vaguely, "He's dead. He's in my room." Upstairs, police found 25-year-old Frankie Fitzgerald lying motionless on the bed. A pillow covered his face, bin bags were stuffed beneath his body, and blood had soaked into the mattress. He had been dead for hours. What officers didn't yet know was that the killing had already been seen live. Earlier that day, Vicky Betts had called emergency services after a FaceTime call with Cher took a disturbing turn. What began as casual chatter shifted when a voice in the background asked, "Are you going to tell her?" Cher grew serious, begged Vicky to keep a secret, then went upstairs. She turned the camera toward the bed. Frankie's body lay there. Laughing, Cher said, "I've done him in." At first, Vicky thought it was a joke. The angle was poor, the moment unreal. But when Cher moved closer, the truth was undeniable. Frankie's throat had been cut catastrophically. Vicky later said the wound was so severe she struggled to process what she was seeing. Before the call ended, Cher claimed Frankie had assaulted her and said she had proof. She sent 3 short videos and then asked, "We're still friends, aren't we?" Minutes later, Vicky called the police. Cher Groves lived in Avant, a town in southern England. She was a mother of 1 and not in a relationship with her child's father. Frankie Fitzgerald from Portsmouth was also a parent. Their relationship had been intense, unstable, and volatile. Friends described Cher as controlling and manipulative. She was known to lie to get what she wanted. At one point she told people, including Frankie, that she had cancer. It wasn't true. It was later revealed to be an attempt to gain sympathy and control. Cher and Frankie's relationship was on again, off again, fueled by jealousy, heavy drinking and drug use. Both were deeply suspicious of each other. Arguments were frequent. Breakups were temporary. A major factor binding them together was their extreme private life. They regularly filmed intimate encounters involving power dynamics and role-play. Boundaries existed, but they were often blurred. By mid-July 2022, the relationship was unravelling. Frankie had grown tired of Cher's behaviour. Cher, meanwhile, was convinced he would return to his ex-girlfriend. The night before the killing, both had been drinking heavily. When Cher was arrested, she said she didn't know what had happened, then contradicted herself, claiming the knife was in the sink. Her housemate, Lauren White, was initially arrested but later released, charged separately for refusing to provide her phone PIN. The autopsy revealed extreme violence. Frankie was stabbed 17 times in the chest, twice elsewhere, and 3 times in the neck. His heart and lungs were pierced. Blood loss was fatal. This wasn't a single impulsive act. In Cher's bedroom, police found framed portraits of serial killers like Bundy and Dahmer. Cher claimed self-defense, citing videos that seemed disturbing at first, until investigators recovered the full, unedited footage. The two discussed boundaries. A safe word was mentioned. The actions were staged, agreed upon, and filmed as part of their role-play. Cher had edited the clips to remove context and make the encounters appear non-consensual. Confronted with this, she admitted she'd lied. At trial in February 2023, prosecutors laid out a broader pattern. Cher had previously blackmailed another partner with an intimate video to force him to do what she wanted. She had attacked her housemate Lauren on multiple occasions, once striking her with nail clippers and splitting her head open. Lauren had effectively been treated as a servant, made to dress Cher, prepare her food, and cater to her demands. Evidence showed Cher had begun cleaning the crime scene after killing Frankie. She had discussed burying the body or staging the death as a suicide. She warned Lauren that she was now an accomplice for helping place bin bags under the body. The prosecution argued this wasn't self-defense, it was manipulation, escalation, and control unraveling. Cher's defense painted a different picture. She claimed the couple had argued after accusing each other of speaking to ex-partners. They exchanged phones. She said she discovered messages from a girl she believed to be 13. She claimed she confronted Frankie, insulted him, and that he snapped. According to Cher, Frankie grabbed her by the throat, forced her head toward the headboard, and began strangling her. She said she panicked, grabbed what she thought was a money box and struck him, only realizing afterward it was a knife. She said she tried to stop the bleeding. When she couldn't, she stabbed him again. But the evidence didn't support this version. There were no defensive injuries on Frankie, no signs of a struggle. Investigators believed he had been asleep. The girl Frankie message was confirmed to be 17, not 13, and he'd already blocked her before his death. Witness testimony further undermined Cher's credibility. Vicky admitted that she and Cher had previously discussed harming Frankie, even joking about having him attacked. Evidence prosecutors said showed early intent. It also emerged that Cher had been secretly sleeping with an ex-boyfriend, filming the encounters while accusing Frankie of cheating. The jury rejected her defense. Cher was found guilty of murder. At sentencing, the judge described the relationship as violent, obsessive, and emotionally charged. A crime of passion driven by jealousy and loss of control. "You loved the man you killed," he said, "and you killed the man you loved." He concluded that when Cher realized the relationship was ending and she was losing control over Frankie, she acted. Cher Groves was sentenced to life imprisonment, with a minimum of 23 years.
Serial killer-obsessed woman who stabbed her on-off boyfriend to death has been jailed for life with at least 23 years in prison. Cher Groves sentenced at Winchester Crown Court for the murder of 25-year-old Frankie Fitzgerald. She stabbed 17 times last July in Hampshire. Let's get more with our reporter Ray Addison, who's been following events at Winchester Crown Court. Ray, it's pretty heavy-duty stuff.
Yeah, it's a very disturbing case, this one, Mark. Cher Groves was 26 at the time of this offence. Now, she was a goth, obsessed with serial killers, somebody who decorated her bedroom with framed portraits of murderers, people like Yorkshire Ripper, Peter Sutcliffe, and Moors murderer Myra Hindley as well. Now, she'd been dating Frankie Fitzgerald, who was 25, on and off for around 6 months, and prosecutors during the trial said that she was completely obsessed with him.
She showed little remorse. Frankie Fitzgerald never woke up.